Guys, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I am going to introduce to you a brand new plugin called the CSS Hero Animator plugin. And with this plugin, you can add any kind of animation that you want to any one of the elements on your site without the need to code. So if you're looking for a plugin that can allow you to add animations on your site without having to write any line of code, this plugin is going to be perfect for you. Now, this plugin is developed by the same developers of the CSS Hero plugin, which I actually covered a couple of years ago. This is the video right here on YouTube. That plugin allowed you to add CSS changes to your site without the need to code. So they've come back with a new plugin called CSS Animator, and like I said earlier, it's a plugin specifically for adding animations to your site. So what I'm going to do in today's video is I'm going to show you how you can use this plugin to add different types of animations. This is the site we're going to work with. I'm going to show you how you can add the spin effect on this image right here, and then notice we have another image further down below that's already blurred, and as I scroll down, the image now becomes very clear, and I keep on scrolling down again, it goes back to being blurred. So I'm going to show you how you can add these two kind of effects. And then also let me show you a different page. Notice the header, the background color of the header is black. As I scroll down to a certain point, it's going to turn to blue. So these are just three examples of the different types of animations I'll show you how you can apply with the use of the CSS Animator plugin. Now, let me stress that the plugin, unfortunately, is not free of charge. It's a paid plugin. You do have to pay for it. The good news though is that it is only $29 US as of the time of me making this video. Let me also mention that if you do want to buy the plugin, I am an affiliate for them. So what this means is that if you decide to buy the plugin using my link, my affiliate link in the box below, which you'll find, I will get a small commission when you do so. So please, if you want to support me and support what I'm doing here on this channel, please do buy the plugin with my affiliate link in the description box below. So just to give you a quick recap, coming up, I'm going to show you how you can use the plugin to apply different types of animations on your site. I will show you exactly the interface, which I'm about to show you right now. I'm going to show you what these different buttons right here do, the different types of functionality, the different types of settings, and by the end of the tutorial, you will be able to use the CSS Animator plugin to add any kind of animation to your site. Let's get started. Alright, so let's start, and the very first thing you're going to do is to activate the plugin once you have installed it. You can see right now I do have the message here on my plugins page asking me to proceed to product activation. So once you activate the plugin, you will see this box right here. You click on the blue box and this will take you to your account at CSS Hero, and you can simply click on Get License, and then your website will automatically be added to your account and the CSS Hero Animator plugin will be activated on your site. So that's the first thing you will need to do. Now let me close this page and now bring you to the website where I'm actually going to show you how the plugin works. Now, once you have activated the plugin, when you visit any kind of page or post, at the very top right here where you have the taskbar, you will see the CSS Hero Animator link right here. This will allow you to launch the plugin on that page. So let me go ahead right now and click on the link to launch the plugin. And there it is. So right now you can see we have the interface down here. This is the interface for the Animator plugin. Now the way it works is very straightforward. You first of all need to choose whatever element that you want to animate, and then you will apply the animation to the element. So think of it this way, okay? I'm going to move my mouse around. Notice that when I move my mouse around the page right here, you have these blue boxes with the blue borders appearing. That would indicate the area of the web page that they're trying to animate. As an example, if I was to go to my main menu right here, notice when my mouse is just slightly outside the first menu item, you have this blue box covering the entire area of the main menu right here. You can see, but then I can move my mouse directly on the menu item, and now notice that I am now animating only the blog menu item. I can move to articles, and now I will only animate the articles element and so on. Or I can come down here to my logo area. Notice again the blue box appearing, indicating the area of the web page I'm trying to animate. Or I can move directly to my logo right now and I will only animate the logo specifically. Or I can move my mouse to the extreme left right here, and now I am selecting the entire header of my website, occupying both the logo and the main menu. And of course, I can scroll down here. I can select elements by simply moving my mouse around them. For example, I can move my mouse to the text in here, the text paragraph, and then when I'm ready to animate that particular element, I simply click on the element, and now notice that right here on this box, you now have the element been selected. Once I've selected my element, I can then apply a viewport height, scroll-based animation, or a time-based animation as well. But before I show you how to apply those animations and how they work, let me give you a quick rundown of the options you have available within the Animator interface. So right here you have your undo option, you also have redo, you have the option to switch from a light theme to a dark theme if you wanted to. Me personally, I do prefer the default dark theme. You do have the mobile preview. When you click on it right now, you'll be able to view your page on a mobile device, which is very, very useful to see how your animation would look like on a mobile device. And then you have the toggle grid, which, to be perfectly honest with you, I really don't know how this works. When you click on it, it gives you this option in here. I'm guessing maybe it allows you to select your elements a little bit easier. I do apologize, I'm not familiar with this particular element at the moment. I did try going through the documentation, but I couldn't find any documentation that explains what this toggle grid option does. All right, we do have the inspector. You click inside, and then this will give you access to the actual CSS code. So if you're into CSS code, this would be the page for you. And of course, you also have the debug. If there are things happening on your page which you're not sure what's going on, you can click on debug, and then you can also send the code that you're having here to the developers of the CSS Animator plugin if you do need their help. And then of course you can also choose to dock the editor. You click on dock editor, the editor disappears, and then to bring it back, you simply click on the arrow down here and it will bring back the editor. And of course right here you can choose to animate the page or the effect on mobile devices if you want to. And then you can also apply the smooth scroll effect. Now take a look at this. Okay, when I'm scrolling down, notice it's okay, it's normal, nothing fancy. But then if I was to turn on the smooth scroll, now notice that it is now a lot smoother when I scroll down, as you can see. So right off the bat, you can apply a quick animation to your page that will make it scroll a lot better and a lot smoother. Okay, and then finally you do have the performance mode. You want to turn this on, which will enable your elements outside of the viewport on the web page that are not animated to maximize the performances. And then finally down here you've got your three buttons in here where you can reset your edits, you can export your data, view in a new page or in a new browser window, and then you can choose to also quit the CSS Animator interface. And then finally, of course, you have the save button. Once you've applied your animation, you can then choose to save the animation. Let me now show you how to apply the animations on your elements. Let me scroll down here and let's choose the first element I want to animate. Let's assume we want to animate this image right here of these mountains, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the image, and then right now you can see over here, this is the element that we have selected, okay? And now we can apply our animation based on three different criteria. You can apply your animation either based on the viewport height, which would basically be the position of the element when the user is scrolling up or down. Then you have the scrolled pixels, which will apply the animation based on how many pixels have been scrolled past by the user on the page. And then finally, of course, you have the classic time-based animations where you could say something like, okay, wait for 5 seconds. After 5 seconds, run this particular animation. Let me show you how they work. So the first one, I'm going to click on viewport height. Okay, I've clicked on it. And now right here, we have the option to add our first animation based on the element's viewport height. I'm going to click on plus. And now right now, you can see we have different types of properties. You can add a background color, background position, background size, and so on. The one I'd like to apply is going to be the blur animation, okay? So blur is the fourth one. I'm going to click on apply right there. Now take a look at this. Down here, we have 3 dots. You have the very first, well, we call them steps actually. You have the very first step right here, the second step, and then the third step finally. What exactly are these? See, this bar you're looking at down here, this represents the scroll position. So naturally, by default, whenever you apply viewport height animations, the animation would already take effect right from the very beginning. Let me show you, okay? If I scroll down gently right here, you can see this is the image right here, but notice it's already blurred, okay? It's already blurred right from the start. Now, pay close attention, okay? If I scroll down, notice we have crossed the very first step. So at this particular point right now, the image is going to start going from blurred to now looking normal. All right. So I scroll down, I'm scrolling down, I'm scrolling down. Notice the image is becoming clearer. The second step right here, okay, this indicates at what point the image is now going to appear clearly. Okay. So if I scroll down again, I keep on scrolling down, notice now that at this point right there, the image is now fully clear. It is no longer blurred. However, if we begin to scroll down, notice the blue line right here is also scrolling as we scroll down. As we scroll down, notice right now that the image starts to become blurred again. And then finally, scroll down. The third step right here represents at what point the image will now be fully blurred. That's exactly how this works. So think of it this way, right? At the very start, the image is blurred. Now, the distance between the first step and the second step indicates how much time it will take from the image to go from being fully blurred to becoming fully clear. So if I was to do something like this, okay, if I was to shift, I can shift the second step right now. I can bring it closer to the first step. Notice right now the distance between the first step and the second step is much smaller. So what this means right now is that the time it will take for the image to go from being fully blurred to becoming fully clear is going to be much smaller. So now let's do this. I'm going to scroll down again, and then notice again right from the start the image is already fully blurred. But now notice how quickly it's going to go from being fully blurred to becoming completely clear. Notice right now that the image is now clear completely in a very, very short manner of time because we've moved the second step much closer to the third step. And again, right now, as I begin to scroll down, it's going to take quite long for the image to become fully blurred again because of the distance between the second step and the third step. But of course, if I drag this much closer to the second step, the image is going to go from being fully blurred to fully clear to fully blurred again in a very short manner of time. You see? Again, from the start, it's fully blurred, goes fully clear, and then goes fully blurred again. And that's exactly how you can work with this particular kind of animation. You can also delete steps as well. As an example, I'm going to shift the third step all the way down here to the end, and I'm going to delete the first step. So, okay, I'm going to click on the first step right here, click on the pen right here, and then click on delete. Now, what this does is that the image right from the start will no longer be blurred. It's going to be normal. Okay, notice right now the image is completely normal. As you can see, it's not blurred. However, once we have scrolled past the first step, the image is now going to start becoming blurred and will only become fully blurred once the user has gotten to the second step. So notice right now, at this point right now, it's time to become blurred until we get to the second step where it is now fully blurred. At the bare minimum, you do need at least 2 steps for this particular kind of animation. Now, I want to show you a second animation with the viewport height because the animations work in different ways and the steps within those animations will offer different types of effects based on that particular kind of animation. Now, I'm going to give you the move X animation. It's the one right here, which basically means that the object will move in a horizontal position from the left to the right. So I'm going to apply the move X animation on the exact same image right here. Now again, notice that we have 3 steps. okay? But unlike the initial effect where we applied the blurred effect, the image at the very start, nothing is being done to the image. Notice if I scroll down, this is the image right here. Nothing is happening. However, when we cross the very first step, notice now that the image is now moving. It's shifting from the left to the right as we scroll down. You can see it's moving, it's moving, it's moving, it's moving. And then once we pass the second step, notice that the speed with which the image moves has now become slower, much slower, 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 until we get to the third step where the image will stop to move, as you can see. And again, if I was to play around with the steps, the position, if I was to drag the second step closer to the first step, what do you think will happen? What will happen is that the image will start to move a lot faster from the left to the right. And then let me move the third step closer to the second step. Now, notice this, okay? If I scroll down, the image isn't moving yet until we pass the first step. Now it's moving, and it's moving quite quickly until it gets to the second step, and then it slows down a little bit until it gets to the third step, where it will now stop to move. So again, I'm showing you this because I want you to understand that the animations, whether it's the blurred effect, opacity effect, background size, all these effects, how they're actually, all these animations rather, how they are applied varies based on the steps. The steps for each of these animations are completely different from one another. So I would encourage you to try playing around with all these other animations, like again the background size, you have the box shadow, background color, perspective, opacity, rotate Y, rotate Z, and so on. You can play with them, move the steps around as well, and you can see the different types of effects that you can apply with these particular animations. Now let's take a look at the scrolled pixels animations, and I am on a different page. I'm on the articles page, and notice that this page has a fixed header. As you scroll down, the header is always fixed in position. And the reason why I am showing you, or I'm using this particular page, is because the scroll pixels animation is very often used for things like this, where you have like a fixed header and maybe you wanted to change the background color of the header as the user scrolls down. Again, remember that scrolled pixels, the animation kicks in once the user has scrolled past a certain amount of pixels. So what I'm going to do right here is this, okay, I'm going to select the header right now, first of all, that has my logo, the main menu. I've chosen the header right here. I'm going to go to scroll pixels, click on the plus button right now, and let's just add a background color. Notice the number of effects you have right here are quite small in number compared to the viewport height pixels, because again, these are typically applied for very specific kinds of elements like your header, footer, and so on. So I'm going to go with the background color. Okay, let's change the background color from black to something else. So I'm going to click on apply, and by default we have the pink color, which I do not like. We'll change that, but let me scroll back to the very top. Okay, at the start nothing is happening, but we do have one step right here, which means that once the user has scrolled past the very first step, now at this point the background color will now turn to pink, as you can see. And of course, we can make this one much closer, which means that the user will have to scroll past only a smaller number of pixels for the background color to turn to pink. And there you go. The background color is now pink. So what if you wanted to edit, change the actual color? Well, it's very simple. Just hover on the step right here and then click on the edit button. And then right here, you can add the value which you want to add. In this case right now, let's go with F0, 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 which is kind of like a shade of gray. Maybe not the best color because the text color is actually white, but let me just show you all the same. So scroll down, and at that point right now, you can see the background color has now changed based on our hexadecimal value here of F0, F0, F0. So this is a relatively very easy type of animation to work with. You simply choose your animation and then determine how many pixels the user needs to scroll past before the animation kicks in. Again, you have a few other ones in here as well. Like for example, you do have, let me remove the background color first. You have the opacity, you have your text color, and you also have your width as well. Let me now show you the final type of animations, and those would be animations based on time, where you can say things like, okay, wait for 5 seconds before this animation actually kicks in. Now to demonstrate, I'm going to choose this image right here with the youth, the people right there, and I've chosen it. I'm going to click on time right now. Let's add an animation, and then we have several of them right here. I'm going to go with the simple spin animation. Okay, let's click on apply, and then by default, you can see right now that the image is spinning. However, right here, you do have the first option to edit the animation. This one, if you click on this one right here, this will give you the CSS code. So if you're familiar with CSS code, you know how to add the properties and the values. You can use this option if you want to. However, the simpler method would be the third option in here, which is the same animation options. But right here, when you click inside the 3 buttons, you can now add your values for the delay, which would mean how long should we wait before the animation kicks in. In this case right now, I'm going to go with 5 seconds, which would be 5,000 milliseconds. So wait for 5 seconds before the animation kicks in, and there you go. Now the animation is running. And then the duration, how long should the animation last? I'm going to go with 3,000, so make it very, 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 very quick. So it's going to spin a lot faster. As you can see, it's a lot faster right now. And then repeat. Do we repeat it infinitely or maybe 2 times, 3 times? I'm going to go with 2 times, okay? And then the direction, let's go with alternate. I actually don't know what alternate direction is. Let's take a look and see. And okay. Oh, okay, alternate. So it moves right to left and then left to right. So, okay, alternate. Okay, cool. And then ease in. How do you want to add the animation? Should it come in smoothly, or do you want to go with linear, easing out, and so on? You can choose different options in here, and then once you're done, you simply click on save down there, and that's pretty much how you can apply your time-based animations to the elements on your web page. So that's it, guys. We've come to the end of today's tutorial where I've shown you how to make use of the CSS Hero Animator plugin to add different types of animations to your site. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up, share the video with anyone who may feel might benefit from it, and of course, if you'd like to buy the Animator plugin, please do use my affiliate link in the box below. My name is Alex. It's been a pleasure. I'll catch you next time. Cheers.